So, what I was saying, this is my little bucket questions if we even get to this, was like, I feel like if I was in, the UK, I would be doing a recording with someone every single day. Just because everyone's around, it'd be as easy as like a phone call, be like, oh, hey, whoever's like, you just want to chit chat tonight? We're in the same time zone. We're both off of work at the same time. I think it'd be easy.
Yeah, I mean, everyone actually does live like kind of quite spread out, but with like trains and stuff, it's pretty accessible. But I also think just having like that, it seems like we're riding a lot, but actually like all together, but really it's just the once a month. But everyone just like really locks down that date and is keen and just like gets there, and then we all just kind of session. So it's quite motivating. And then even when you are away, it's like, oh, well, it's only like 3 or 4 weeks to the next one. So
Yeah. Well, and even just like all living in the same place, we're getting ahead of ourselves. Say your name. Who are you? Who are you on the podcast today?
Oh yeah, I'm Tirryn, Nankivell.
Tirryn. We're hanging out. We're chit chatting about hopefully unicycling at some point. Right now, we've been talking about some of our podcast stuff a little bit. My internet is going in and out a little bit, so this video is gonna be wonky. But it's all about the audio, right, guys? And then Tirryn, don't let me forget. Like I had a lot of complaints that we were talking about like lots of street stuff, but not like explaining to people what street stuff was. So if we talk about anything technical, you gotta remember that we gotta explain it to the listeners out there.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Absolutely. We'll break it down.
So, and then, the other thing I've never figured out with the podcast stuff is, like, everyone's doing the podcast recording with their phones. Maybe I'm just lazy and haven't taken the time to look into that stuff, but I feel like it's beyond me to figure out how to do it with, like, just phones with people.
Yeah, I mean, whatever works, really. Yeah, I don't really know how to do... I'm not good at the recording stuff side either myself, so, I mean... Yeah, whatever works.
Someone calls you like, hey, let's record stuff. You're like, okay, just call me and record it.
Yeah, just jump on, press record on one device, have the other on another device, use multiple devices. Just as long as you can hear the conversation and something's recording, should turn out all right.
Yeah, exactly. So Tirryn, you are probably most famous. Correct me if I'm wrong, for your unicycle maintenance video, right?
Oh, absolutely. That is probably one of the top rated ones, I would say. Though when I actually played it at Canada.
They're like, what's that? I personally was all in. I was just like, I don't think some people haven't like actually like taken apart their own wheels, putting their wheels back together, relaced and trued their own wheels. Like I've personally had to do all that stuff and mess with every stupid part to hammer it off on a unicycle. And so, like, when you were talking about it, I was just like, when I was there. I was, like, all into it.
Yeah.
To me, still one of the favorites. If anyone has not seen Tirryn's unicycle maintenance video, we'll link it in, like, the show notes and all that crap.
Yeah, but I'm. But the funny thing is, Phil, is that I'm actually that bad. Like part of the video was exaggerating a few things, but like generally speaking, I'm pretty bad. Like I don't know how to true a wheel that well.
Not really, yeah.
At all. Actually, like that's tricky.
Who's gonna buy a touring stand?
Yeah, I know. I need one of them. That's what I need. I just need to get like all the equipment properly, have it all laid out. But I even still don't. But pulling off my first tire, I think I actually pulled off my first tire for the first time, just when there was like no one around and no event coming up where someone could maybe do it for me. Which is pretty bad, really. That I just kind of just wait it out. Well, I give it a go, but yeah, it was no good. But then I discovered that tire levers are a really helpful thing because people would just go and show me. My first introduction was like, oh yeah, you just find whatever you can, put it into the tire, and then just like
a stick or a rock.
Yeah, exactly, and then just like kind of rip it off. And I was like, that's so difficult. And then discovered these things called tire levers, and turns out it's really easy.
And you get that tire that's finally worn enough, you just roll it off for nothing. Later, and you're like, that's when you're like, maybe I should get a new tire.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know how people do it, but I guess just practice.
Yeah, especially when you have those old like Alex 32 rims where like you're breaking off plastic levers.
Yeah.
Like every time you try to get the tire because the rim is like so tall compared to the tire.
Yeah.
If you've never ridden an Alex 32 rim, guys, that was like the first trials rim out there. I'm probably gonna put a new wheel together back here with one just now.
Well, that sounds exciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you saw, but I obviously destroyed my 20-inch wheel this last week. I was doing I did an out flip off of we have like a small box and a big box at our skate park, and I had just gotten my wheel from the bike shop that day.
No way.
Yeah, so it was like brand new, trued, repaired. It did have a little bit of a squish in it. So like, I think my curse is I don't actually record enough of my riding, because I have been going pretty hard on this wheel. It's not like I haven't been keeping up with it. Like there's this big blocky thing downtown in my city that's been built, and Mo's jumped off it first. I'm like, well, if Mo's can do it, I can jump off it. I jumped off of it a few times, and I'm 220 pounds, so I'm not a light person, and the wheel did not like break, like because it was a 20-inch wheel. I put like work onto that wheel into the last few minutes. But I messaged Marco about it, and he was like, if you break 3 spokes, the bike shop rule is if you break 3 spokes, you got to rebuild the wheel. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Nah.
No. I mean, I can't say that I've ever actually done it. I've usually just replaced the spoke, replaced the spoke, replaced the spoke. Because those 19-inch rims, they never break, practically.
Yeah.
Or not the Dominator 2 that I've been riding on for the last 5 years or whatever.
do you want me to fix your wheel for you?
Yeah, will you do some unicycle maintenance on it? Make a video?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I can sort it out. Because actually, I saw the picture on Instagram or wherever you posted it, and yeah, you've done a pretty good job of it.
Yeah. I think if you just glue the seams back together, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Call me ignorant. I did not know that welded rims were a thing until I started looking at more wheel build stuff.
There you go. I had no idea till now. So
yeah, I posted that, and Nemo Seidler messaged me on Instagram. He's like, "Oh yeah, buy this rim. It's the one. It's the one that I don't break." Says Nemo Seidler. So.
Oh, okay. All right. It sounds like you're in good hands. Then. Good advice.
I mean, if he can't break it, I'm probably at least halfway. Like I could probably do half the damage that he does.
Yeah. You know what? You mentioned that you weren't filming as much. I actually went through your channel and tried to have a watch of some of your videos recently, and unfortunately, I couldn't see too many. I don't know whether if you've put any on private or if you haven't filmed much in the last few years.
There just literally isn't that many. Any unicycle videos that are like legit, just unicycle videos. There's gotta only be like 5 on there, maybe.
Yeah. I reckon I probably got through about 5 and that was it. To my disappointment, because I was like, oh, surely Phil's got heaps of videos stacked up, and then I was like, oh, maybe not. But I'm telling you, king of 3 spins, rolling 3 spins down things, seat forwards or backwards, very impressive. Because that's so hard not to move the cranks.
I can't do a tray flip to save my life. I can do full out flips pretty okay, But I don't know what happened in my life. I clearly should be trying to do my 3 spins off of actually big stuff, because I think I could jump a 5 stair and do a 3 spin no crank flip
way.
at all.
That's crazy. Honestly, wow.
I don't know I can't, but the first time I ever did it was in Madison, Wisconsin during the street comp. I did one down to 3, and I remember because Chris Hirowai was judging, and he I did it, did the spin down to 3, and he was like, what? Did you just do it without flipping the cranks? How is that even possible? But it's just the thing I got. It's just the thing I got, and I can do on a good day. I've been trying to get him back. I can do my 5 spins up and down things on occasion, without spinning the cranks either.
Wow.
But I've never landed a 5th flip. For those who are listening, a 5th flip is a 540 unispin with a crank flip inside of it. A 5 spin, of course, referring to a 540 unicycle spin. 3 spin, of course, 360 unicycle spin. I have a little notoriety in the fact that I do a lot of my spins without doing a crank flip in them, which is untraditional for street riding.
Absolutely, got to carve out your niche though.
Yeah,
in the unicycling world, that's it.
Did you ever ride or know who Jackie Sandberg was? Like a street rider, if you will. He was a street rider. I should air quote say he was a street rider. From out of the early 2000s.
No,
he didn't have a lot of videos, but he had a handful of videos where he just did redonkulous stuff. Oh, I know one. Did you ever see? It was like Universe 2, maybe, or Defect. I can't remember which. Where the Muni guy, jumps off the huge thing and lands, and he breaks the profile crank off.
Yeah,
Uh,
vaguely. I have seen both.
I
So
think it's Ryan Atkins or somebody. He like jumps off the thing, lands, and breaks it. Jackie Sandberg with Dan Heaton went to Moab, and he jumped off of it and landed it like with Dan Heaton like watching.
wow.
So that's like his like claim to fame. And then he did this 360 spin. You know, like Mario Bell did his like 3 spins off of crazy stuff. There's a couple of videos of him doing it like off of stuff that was over my head. Because I used to ride with him back in the day. I'll see if I can hunt those videos down. Those are some pretty gnarly videos. And then I don't know. This is probably not important, but he's also like he was very into being gay and being a gay unicyclist. So like he was like gay and rode really hard, which you know I don't those things don't stack up in like the world of like cool factors, but to me at the time it was like things he like really hopped onto. That is what.
Yeah,
I'm
I was
about.
like, you know what? I was like, I know who to send this to now.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. You know, I'm starting to find myself a little niche in the custom unicycle world thing.
Absolutely. I think also the only problem I have is if I send you my carbon base, then I've only got a plastic base to ride, and I'm telling you, as soon as you do like a crank flip, or if I do a crank flip or a double flip, whatever, like yeah, see you later, like it's gone. So I don't know if I want to give up riding, so I might just continue in the meantime.
That's true. Yeah, pick up some
Yeah.
uni in the meantime or something like that. You know, you could always get the handle saddle. You know,
True.
it's pretty solid.
True. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know. I've rode it a little bit, but I just I don't know. Big change. But I know people just keep riding and keep getting used to it. But yeah, I don't know.
The more that I ride the handle saddle, Mad for One, by the way, Mad for One handle saddle. If you guys never seen it, check it out. The more I like it, and it is annoying to land on. I will say this. Like I have the fattest foam, and
Yeah.
I'm a big guy. Probably got like bigger seat bones than the average. So sometimes when I come down really hard, or if I come too far back, my bones hit the metal parts of the handle. That being said, one thing that's so nice about it is that your grip is the same everywhere. You know how sometimes like you go to like grab the seat quickly and you don't quite grab it in the right place, or you're a little off. You're like,
Yeah.
You know, it's a little off. Your fingers too far forward or back when you're going to spin or out flip or something like that. And it's no matter where you grab it, how you grab it, it's just that bar, and you can get your fingers all the way around it. And I found that even if I get like a sloppy grab on it, it feels okay to just throw and do something out with it. So.
Well, that's good. That's good. Do you get your hands like kind of stuck in the gaps at all? Because you know with the handle, like with the the handle with the hole in it, and some people get their fingers caught in it.
Yeah.
I imagine you've got more space. Like, do you get your hand caught in there at times when you do tricks, or
The
not?
holes are really big, so it's not like those little. Some of the handles have like the really tight gap, and you kind of get your fingers jammed in there. They're so big that usually you can like, there's room to land. I have only had one issue where I threw a trick really sloppy. I would chalk this up to bad technique more than the handle saddle's fault. Where I was trying to do a bay flip, and I like jumped on the tire and slipped, and kind of like didn't let go of the seat, and so I kind of came down and squished my hand like right here, like, but that like landing on it wrong. But I like made a mental note of that, and it's never happened since. You know, I made sure I like grabbed it right rather than grabbed it like shitty and sloppy, if you will.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Cool. Because I was just imagining like your whole hand going through, like landing a trick.
Yeah.
Oh crap.
And then I don't know if you see how like Clement has had his handle saddle up. He has it like all taped up all the way around, so like his hands can't go through the handle, which I think is a good idea. I'm not ready to start modifying it yet. I'm still like in the testing it out phase, if you will. But I did land on the nose of it that one time. I don't know if you saw that on my 34th birthday, and I just bent the crap out of my Mad for One C post because it is really rigid, which is nice, like for tricks and stuff. But it also is not forgiving if you land on it too. What would you say is your when you think of like the parts you've had, what would you say is like your favorite unicycle part? And second part question, Unicycle part you always wanted, but never attained. There we go.
I'm not super like whatever size crank, whatever kind of type of frame or like and all the small details. I don't mind because I find that I just get used to it. Like so you have like the initial change, you know, you might go from an impact to a KH or whatever, and then it feels like a little bit weird to begin with.
Yeah.
But then you just get used to it. Honestly, like as I said before, the Pit Fighter 3-seat post is probably like my favorite because it's just never broken. It's just been 100% reliable. And that's just saved a lot of hassle in me not having.
I think it's so interesting that like all the carbon fiber seat bases that have been made in the past, like they've been wildly successful. Like even the UDC ones, I've broken 3 UDC CF bases, but I would buy them endlessly. Like if they were still out there, and people just stopped making them. I don't know if they're just a lot of effort to make or something like that. But you know, I have a Scott Wallace CF base. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I haven't actually.
Maybe I'll have to run upstairs and grab it. I left it upstairs, but it takes the Thompson seat post, so it's only 2 bolts.
Okay.
But I don't think anyone has ever broken one.
Wow. All right.
And it's the one that Max Schultz I know has like always ridden with because he got one back in the day, and even with his KH stuff he swapped it out, and he never ever broke his Thompson seat post because it's like folded in and then out again, and so like it's crazy stiff and supported through the whole thing. Drawbacks is it has these custom pieces that are used to like sit it right on the seat post, and if you lose those, you'll never have it ever again. Like, so I have to keep it together so I don't lose it.
Yeah, right. I think there's the new carbon saddle that UDC does recently. Have you seen that?
Yeah, the Exceed seat.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. So I guess after all these years they finally came back around. It's nice to see it all in one as well.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I'm interested in it, but I'm not gonna lie. The $300 price point is a bit intimidating for me.
Yeah. Fair. But I suppose if you break lots of plastic bases, then that's going to add up, so you could consider a long-term investment. Could be worth it.
Not that I'm trying to sell. I'm not trying to sell or crap on UDC, but like when you look at, say, the handle saddle, handle saddle is, I think, under $100.
Okay.
If you get
it.
No,
even fair.
I think it's 80, maybe it's 89 euros.
Yeah, okay.
And, so like 1/3 the price, practically. And I'm ready to see someone break a handle saddle. I would like to see what that looks like because I think it's gonna be really hard.
Yeah, 100%. I can't even imagine what you'd have to try to do that. But I'm just imagining Clement just doing some crazy trick off like a 5-meter drop or something ridiculous.
Yeah, I imagine at some point someone's gonna bend like the nose of one, and I don't know. That might make it better. I don't know.
Yeah, you can pull up on it more for flips.
Yeah, like Kyle Aviani would be looking for that. Tirryn, tell us a little bit about your life in unicycling. How did you get started back in the day?
Oh, mate, wow.
How long have you been riding?
Yeah, good question. I've been riding since 2009, so about 11, 12 years to at this point. My brother Brandon, he rode the unicycle before me, and I basically he's my younger brother, so yeah, he just got one for. He managed to convince my parents to buy one for his like 12th birthday or 11th birthday or something, and eventually my parents caved in, got him one, and then we were kind of watching him just ride it, and we're like, oh no, it's impossible, there's no way, and then
and look at you now.
Yeah, exactly. Look where we are today. 100%. But yeah, back with him riding, we discovered that like Uninats, which is the Australian Unicycle Championships, was a thing. There was a unicycling competition, and so my brother wanted to go compete in that. So we all went along as a family. And at that point, I could only ride. I just learned to ride because I like all sports. I play football or soccer. Cricket, all that kind of stuff. No BMX or skateboarding or anything like that though. But yeah,
never did that. Just went straight to unicycling.
Yeah, 100%. And I then just I could ride, and then once I got there, I'd seen some of the videos my brother was watching. I think it was like back when the Cox One videos,
Oh yeah.
Steam videos were out. Oh, I still watch them to the day. Like whenever I jump on my
Still
hard
so
drive,
good.
I've got just like and it's crazy. Like back then, like some of those tricks are still like really good today as
Really
well.
solid. And big
Yeah.
stuff too. Some of those things they do are doing really big stuff.
Yeah, just got like Chris Kovacs throwing like fifth down 5 sets. Like back then, it's like okay,
Yeah, Jesus,
like
slow
don't
down. We're still trying to catch up a decade later.
Yeah. So then so anyway we actually drove to the competition, and as you know, Australia is quite big. US is obviously
A little bit.
also big.
Yeah.
But for those who are maybe in Europe and can hop 1 hour into another country,
So annoying.
Basically, we drove like a good, across a couple of days to get to the competition, and then that's when I kind of saw the urban stuff in real life, and I was just like sold instantly, and was like, I want to come back next year, because I felt like, and this is you might be able to relate to this too, Phil, and especially all the beginner riders as well, is that like I could ride, and I felt like I was there and like with the group riding from spot to spot, because I couldn't do any tricks. I didn't really feel like I was like fully part of like what was going on.
Yeah, totally.
And but the thing is, and then part of you goes like, oh, should I be here? Should I not? But obviously, like if you'd ask any unicyclist back then, or even in any group, and even going forward, and be like, oh yeah, of course you're welcome. Like like get involved. Everyone wants you still to be there. But I just still feel like I probably had like nothing to offer, because I was only still quite new to it. But then I just made when we left the competition, I said to myself, I'm going to come back next year, and I'm going to be able to do tricks, and I'm going to be able to participate more, and it's going to be more fun.
Totally.
And that was it. Yeah.
I feel like the thing that unicyclists need to hear is like, you're going to go to your first event at some point, whatever your first event is, and you're going to feel like the worst unicyclist there. You're just going to go to an event and everyone just has that feeling where like, oh, all these people can do like way more than me. And then you learn that it's like, it's mostly just confidence. Like, you're like, just have fun. We're all here to have fun and do the things we want to do. But yeah, I definitely remember some of my first events where like I could do almost no tricks when I went to New Zealand for the first time. I had only New Zealand was my first Unicon, and I had never landed. I had only landed like a crank flip and like a 3-spin. That's like all I had ever landed. And then at New Zealand, I landed my first 540 and my first double flip, like both in the same thing. And I was like, oh my god, street.
Amazing. You know what? Actually,
all trials till then.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool. Cool. What was interesting actually is that New Zealand Unicon was my first Unicon as well, right. And I actually remember seeing you there. But the thing is that like, because Chris Hirawai and a few of those guys had come over to Uninats and stuff, but I didn't really like know them that well, because I'd only been to that one Uninats, and so. I remember seeing you. I don't think I actually ever spoke to you at that Unicon. I think we might have like seen each other. I was so overwhelmed. I didn't know anyone, and I had stayed in the hostel with Chris and some of these guys. So I was like starstruck, just like being in that situation. Yeah, and then because for me, because I was riding with like another group, because once again I think what's also great about what you were saying before about you kind of come to an event, oh, everyone's like better than me and this and that, particularly at like a big event with an AUCC like or Unicon, whatever it is, there is someone there that's actually at your level, and like you can actually participate and ride.
You're like, everyone's so approachable too. It's like seeing the greatest athletes in the world do the Olympics. You just walk them and ask them questions. Like, oh yeah, I do mine like this, and you're like, what? Or sometimes they give you that trick, and you're like, oh my god, I did not even realize, that you're supposed to do it like this, and I've been trying it like this, or learning those bad habits and stuff like that. Yeah,
it can literally be like one small thing, like, oh, why don't you just like put your hand here, or why don't you just move your foot slightly down here, and then you're like, oh, all of a sudden, like, it becomes possible. Love that. Love when that happens.
I remember trying to learn my spins, and I would hold way up near the nose to spin, and I don't even think until I got down to New Zealand, someone's like, oh yeah, no, spin in the center, obviously. Like, you want to spin the center of the seat rather than spinning wide, trying to turn it like a steering wheel or something like that. And I was like, how did I never think of this?
Yeah. It's funny how in hindsight you look back and you go, yeah, how on earth, how did I even think that was logically right? But
Yeah, how many hours did I spend learning it wrong?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with like riding with people, isn't it? Like I just find that also just the I don't know, you just get like that encouragement, and if you're both like racing to a trick, or it doesn't have to be like that competitive. It can just be like, I'll try this, you try this, or bounce ideas off each other. Because that's the thing as well, is like it opens up your mind to like new tricks and ideas, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I've never even considered trying I don't know, foot jam, and then next thing you know, you're landing like new tricks that you just wouldn't have come up with on your own if you're just riding by yourself.
Totally. I think some of the out games, like the online or the Facebook out games, were the ones where like I never learned any tricks on tire, like spins on tire, until one of the sets was like a 270 to foot jam to 180 on tire, and then like back to seat in. And I was like, this is impossible. I'll never do it. And then it took me almost no time to land my first 270. I was like, you can do a 360. A 270 is just less, obviously. And you do it and you land on the tire and you're like, oh, I was just scared. I was just scared of trying this trick. It's not that I was incapable. And you just need someone else to like draw the line in the sand for you. Be like, no, you got to do this. You got to do this trick and no shortcuts.
Yeah, that's it. Though I remember I learned 540 unispins before I could ride backwards.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive. Those are a huge disconnect.
Yeah, I kind of want to go for, because I actually can't wheel walk as well.
Oh, really?
I've got one rev before, but I really don't feel like that counts.
1 foot or 2 feet?
Because I was so hyped to get into riding, I just want to be able to do spins and like street, and so I just went for that. I went focused and just did that, which looking back now, I think it's kind of had a little bit of a detriment effect on my riding, because I don't feel like 100% in control, because I didn't like do like all the basics like that I maybe should have. But it has opened up the opportunity, because I think what would be cool is to be the first like person maybe to learn like stand up 1 foot wheel walk, but not be able to wheel walk.
That'd be fun. Just try to race Simon Barry to down some wheel walk, stand up wheel walk only.
Yeah.
And then you try to like go down to wheel walk, and you just can't do it. Kevin McMullen.
Exactly. So that might be one of my goals.
And for anyone who doesn't know, Kevin McMullen was a classic Dan Heaton era street rider who famously could not ride backwards. He could jump huge staircases and things, or do 180s and then not be able to ride out of it.
Yeah. Did he just hop twist on the spot then? Is that, or did he just turn it? Because I know there's videos of him doing it, but I can't quite remember.
I think the famous clip is like him jumping that like 8-stair staircase where he like 180s, and he like rides backwards like 2 revolutions, but then like it's like he's falling like out of the frame, and then the clip cuts off. But yeah, I've been told he's learned how to ride backwards since then. The weakness I've been really feeling in recent years is my flatland. I have done rolling wrap. I've done some back rolls, but I feel like there's just all this time I have where like when I'm warming up or practicing, I should be practicing flatland tricks, but they're really I've been trying to do more this year, and they're so humbling. They're so much harder than I ever thought. And now I go back and watch old like flatland videos, and I'm like, oh my god, this is insane. Yeah. Like this is so much more insane than I gave it credit, because I've been trying to do some of this. You just think like rolling wraps, for example. Oh yeah, that's like the basic flatland trick, and if you you just gotta do it a little bit, and that like I don't know, like idling. You just gotta get rolling wraps down, like idling, and then it's no big deal. And they are honestly hard, and really hard to get consistent.
Oh, so hard. Like, I think they're way harder to get consistent than spin-off flip tricks.
Totally.
Obviously, it might be a bit dependent on the rider, but yeah, really, when you see the top riders like and how consistent they are, you're just like, damn, you've practiced like so much, and you make that look so easy.
And I think
when really it's so difficult.
It's like an exertion thing. Like for a 3-spin, the exertion is like a moment. You jump.
Yes.
you jump in and go, huh, and like, you know, there's a lot of opportunity to like relax after you throw it. You know, you can catch it early, you can land on the ground and catch it. There's like a lot of fudge room. But you know,
Yeah.
any flatland trick, for those who don't know, a rolling wrap is a trick where you roll all the way around, roll the wheel in a complete revolution while staying on the cranks, you know, without jumping essentially. Look it up. Rolling wrap. It's a classic flatland trick. You're on through the whole trick. You have to, you know, there's not a break, a relaxing moment in it. It's you're on through the whole maneuver, and that's I think what's so challenging about it.
Yeah, and then obviously, you know, I think once you kind of get a small foundation, it just opens up like so many possibilities because there's obviously just like infinite amount of combos that you can do.
Totally.
Which is very, very satisfying when you like start linking a few together. But yeah, like that's what I really like about it is that you can just incorporate, you know, you can start incorporating
anything you
know,
can do
tire trip,
and
coasts. Yeah.
all of it, and obviously you can do crane flips in, spins out and in, like they can be part of the rolls and stuff like that. I've really felt that way about like the 270 on tire, like we were just talking about. Like I felt like before I tried it, I was like, okay, 90 back down, you know, and then just 180s and 3 spins. But as soon as I did the 270, you're like, oh, you can do 270 up, 270 down. I can do the one. As soon as I felt comfortable spinning the unicycle more and landing on the tire, it's like, oh, it's easy to do 180s down tire, like no big deal. And just throw combinations of that until you like unlock it, as you were saying. You know, you don't realize that it could just be the link between all these maneuvers.
Someone who's maybe new to it will just look all the same.
It just looks the same. You know, I ride around friends who don't ride quite a bit, and I'm like, I'll do a hard trick, an easy trick, whatever, and they just say like, it just looks like you're doing little spinny do's, you know, little spinny tricks on the unicycle. It just all looks the same to them. I'm like, you don't understand how technical and, you know, all the little minuscule movements that make this possible. And I think flatland sometimes is very much the same way. It's like probably, you know, similar to I would say like freestyle. It's some of the most technical riding, full of subtleties, small changes in maneuvers, like. Every rider has like every little individual style, even for doing the same maneuvers. You know, some people's rolling wraps, just as an example, is really, really tight and clean looking. Like, you know, the seat really moves. Other riders' rolling wraps are really wild, where the seat like flies out really wide. They push super hard. And I like all of it and everything in between.
Yeah, same here. Also, yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but he's really got to be on it. I feel like I'm only just starting to kind of get the hang of like linking, you know, maybe 3 or 4 kind of rolls together on a more consistent basis. But I think, yeah, once again, if I'm only practicing them, you know, and then obviously it's hard to find time to practice everything though, isn't it? Like, you know, I want to work on spins and flips one day, then I want to go practice them straight for a bit, then I want to actually go, oh no, but I need to do the rolls this week, or else like, what if I lose them? Or, and then next thing you know, like, you know, that's like 3 sessions in a week. And like, I mean, these days, how do I get 3 sessions in a week?
Right, yeah. Yeah,
I
rode last week. Every day I'm like, okay, I'm gonna wake up early and ride this week. It's almost like it's like 35 degrees, almost 40 degrees here right now, and you just can't ride in that. You know, it's just way too hot. But I tell myself I'm gonna wake up and do it, and probably not gonna ride till Saturday. You know.
Yeah. There is that like. You know, we were discussing just a little bit before the podcast with like, you know, finding time to ride. Definitely as kind of the ages go on, you know, different priorities kind of come into your life and stuff. But I also think at the same time that like, you know, if you really you can always make time for it. Like, you know, you only need a half an hour session. Like if you've got somewhere nearby that you can go do that, then it's like it's actually very doable to keep on top of it. But you know, I kind of see.
Losing you for a minute there.
Before, like, you know, like university. Go for it. Sorry, I'll repeat that. Like, you know, if you go to university or like extra study after school or even in school, like that's when you actually have the most time to ride. But at that time, you might not feel like it because, you know, you're studying, like, you know, trying to get good grades, do well, put in the time for that. But when you've got the most free time, so like definitely use it. They're doing that. because more priorities will come and you will get a little bit less time to ride.
Sorry, my recording's all being weird over here. Be ready for a fun, crazy video, everybody. You're what happens with my program sometimes is you get bigger, you get smaller, you get bigger, you get smaller, you get bigger, you get smaller, and you're just changing sizes all over the place. So that's how it's gonna be. I'm not gonna fix it.
That's exciting.
It looks like I'm a little worried. It looks like the internet's taking a severe dip. I don't know if you're noticing that as well. But I'm not gonna touch it. I'm hoping it's gonna be okay. Yeah, and one of the things I've been doing, I think I mentioned this in the last podcast, I've been trying really hard to not repeat stories. It's really hard for me. But I've been building obstacles to train at home. Just so I have things. I can't make excuses. It's like, I don't want to ride on flat. I want to do a mani pad session or practice bouncing on rails. So I built myself a rail and I built myself a mani pad. And the mani pad fits inside of each other, and so I could take it somewhere and it could set it up, and it's like one rev mani pad. And
oh wow, that's sick.
Yeah, it's got edges too, so you can set them up, so you can actually grind the edges and stuff like that too. So there's a lot of things to do with it. So yeah, I'm just trying to create opportunities to not make excuses.
Mate, that's half the battle. That's good. How long did it take you to make that, by the way?
I probably could have sat down and grinded through it a little harder, but it probably took me about a month of just doing it in my free time. I don't have my welder, and all my welding tools are not at my house. They're at a place where I work, and so I have to go to work, do my work, get off of work, and then still be motivated to work on my side projects, so to speak. And then it's another thing too. It's okay, well, I could work on this box, but that's time I could be riding instead. But if I work on it, I'll use it to ride more, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But now they're done. So, and I think if I do them again, I think I'm gonna make 2 more. I might make some even smaller, tighter ones. I think I have the whole system down, so to speak. So it'll be I'll be able to bust it out quicker.
Brilliant. Go you. That's good. I don't think. I mean, I can barely maintain a unicycle together a straight obstacle.
Yeah. I wish I could come up with obviously I have the ability to weld metal and build these lighter, stronger metal structures quickly, but I wish I could come up with a cool system here's the easy build it at home for yourself mani pad, here's the blueprints for it. I think that'd be a fun thing to do for people, but that's another dream. I gotta worry about all this writing crap first before I start helping other people out.
Yeah.
This recording's going south. I was gonna say, what's your favorite event you've been to?
Oof, yeah, it's got to be Unicon Canada 2014
Montreal
for sure. Yeah, Montreal. Yeah, I feel like that's a bit of a repetitive thing. I think a few people might have mentioned that.
It was just really good. It was just a good Unicon. It was fun. The riding spots were incredible. The riders that all came were incredible. The Taz, man, that skate park.
Yeah.
If I could go back to anywhere, I wish I could go back there now with the skills that I currently have.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, that would be so good. I feel like for me it was also you might be able to relate too then. Wait, did you go to Brixton, Italy?
I did.
2012?
I did.
Okay, so you had the pleasure of meeting a lot more the riders who couldn't come to the New Zealand one.
Yeah.
Because that. Yeah.
A lot of the European guys.
That was. Yeah, exactly. So I missed a lot of them, and obviously then Europe has a big presence of urban unicyclists, as does USA. So to kind of put them, and everyone kind of made it to Canada. There was just that whole meet. Probably it felt like I was meeting everyone again. Though I'd met a lot of people in New Zealand, it was just to another level, and that was super exciting to be able to meet people. And weirdly enough, people knew my name as well, and were like, "Oh, you're Tirryn." I'm like, How do you know? How do you actually watch my videos?
Yeah,
What?
if you just keep
Or you've seen
if
it?
you just keep riding, you get noticed.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I do. I ride, don't post any video clips, and post pictures of broken parts occasionally, and here I am.
Yeah. Well,
Still doing
hopefully
it.
you should work on a video, Phil.
I
You
need
should
to. I
get
need
another one
to.
out. You're overdue.
I'm overdue, and like, the thing that Mose keeps telling me is I gotta find clips that aren't outside the skate park.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't. This might sound really ignorant, but I didn't realize how big of a deal that was. Like, it's like, no, you just can't do skate park shit all the time. Like, that's like the safe, easy place to ride. You gotta venture out there. You gotta find the hard spots.
Yeah, I think also just the, I don't know, the change in scenery, like a three set in an urban setting versus just another three set at the skate park. I think just the
Yeah.
backdrop and obviously the different style of three set. It might not be like a perfect three set like it might be at the skate park. You might have like one kind of like long one like on the second part of the set or whatever it might be. Who knows?
Totally.
So I think it kind of just adds to the feel of it all, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I went to a skate park I haven't been to in our town. It's like kind of a little far away. It's a little outside town, so it's a little longer to get to. But they just have all this urban stuff just outside the skate park that is like it's like a pavilion and all this stuff. And I'm really excited to throw some bigger stuff there. And I need my quintessential trick I'm trying to get right now, which I have not gotten, is the full out flip down at least a 5.
Oof.
At least a 5.
Wow. Yeah, that would be sick. How are you catching them?
On a good day, great. On a bad day, on the ground. We were talking about practice, and I was saying, like, I think, it's hard enough to find 3 days to ride, but it's also hard enough to not learn new tricks, but just maintain your tricks, too. And if I don't do a full-out flip, like, I don't know, like 15, 20 times a week, it starts to, like, fall away again,
Yeah. That is hard because you spend like if you've only got one session for the week, like it's like okay, well we're gonna do maintain like
yeah. I'm not gonna work on new shit today.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the shit that I want to land. Otherwise that five stairs never gonna happen. And we have a couple like really comfortable 5 stairs around too. It's like laziness that I haven't done.
Right.
It, not like
you've almost got no excuse now, mate. That's I'm expecting to see this.
There's all this proof now that I'm posting on the internet.
Exactly.
And there's even one over here that's like it's 5 stairs into grass too. Like, how do you feel about that? Is that legit or is that like safe?
I don't know. I kind of perceive grass as like for me to falling on grass or falling on concrete. I personally don't really mind. I feel like I've learned to bail properly, so concrete doesn't really scare me.
That's a good point.
But grass, I just feel like it's just a bit more awkward to land on. Actually,
Yeah,
like I'd rather land on concrete.
Slick. It's a little wet in that spot.
Yeah.
Or you start landing on one spot, it starts to break it all out.
Yeah, but I still think though, if you've only got grass and there's a 5 set or whatever, then do it like 100%. But I mean, if you've got the option, I would say like just go to concrete.
You just gotta do it right. You just gotta commit.
Yeah.
Just commit, and you'll be fine.
Exactly. You know what? I was also thinking, like, how do you structure your how does your standard ride go? What's your structure? Because I feel like people do that quite differently, and actually, like, don't really talk about that too much.
I agree.
So,
people don't talk about like their system
routine. What's your system?
So I have I definitely have days where I'm like, okay, no system today. Warm up, have fun, mentally work on things that you want to work on, and then I have days where, good lord, your computer thing is making me crazy. This is gonna be a wild one. This video is gonna be a little wild. Your video is gonna get bigger, smaller. It's gonna change sizes, and we're just gonna. That's it, people. That's it. But one of the things I try to do a lot, and I like slip, and then I come back, and I slip, I come back, is I try to land every trick I know 10 times.
Wow.
So it's like even if it's crank flip, that's like 10 crank flips in a row. Bam. And then I've modified it a little bit where like if I land, I don't know, like 3 or 4 in a row, like with no issues, I'll just move on to the next trick. But if I stay in like the first 3 or 4, if I stuff one, till 10, like no question.
That's good. That's good discipline.
But I find that it's kind of hard to maintain sometimes, just because like now I have so many small tricks like flip, late flip, 180 flip, back flip, double flip, 180 back flip. Those are, they are good tricks to have, but they're like smaller tricks. By the time I get to like bigger stuff like full out flips, 540s, I'm like so tired and wrecked. And so sometimes I have to like do like, okay, harder flips only or weaker flips only, like my 180 back flips or my, I don't know, late back flips. I like had them tight for a minute there, and now they're plaguing me. And so I'll work on that stuff and then just immediately hop to like, I don't really need to sesh like double flips anymore. I feel like like I could definitely land out of 10. I can land more double flips than drop,
Okay.
So the things I need to work on are like my out double flips, my out late flips, my full out double flips, and I just try, and things I Mose has been making me work on more because he's trying to get good at them, and it's definitely my weakness is all the varial versions. So doing your one spins with the body varial, doing your sex changes, doing your big spins, your small 360 uni spins with the 180s. Those are definitely weaknesses for me, and they're getting better, but I just need to session those.
Yeah, that's like your next set of variations to work on. Like, I think you should go for like inward varial flip. I'm sure you've probably done that because you can do full out flip quite well.
And I can do inward varial spin like no problem. I even pulled them back pretty recently. I was like doing them off the boxes. I'm like, oh my god, I'm doing this like. But sometimes I have that crank flip in there. I can spin without flipping my cranks all day.
Shit.
But sometimes when I gotta throw that crank flip in there, it goes like the stupid half flip, and I'm like, if I can land half flips, it might be cool, but I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I think full flip's better, but
it's always
half flips, you take it.
Yeah.
I had tray under halves consistent at one point.
Tray under halves. That's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, but like the thing is like you kind of see this big kick, and then like the cranks just kind of slightly move, and actually, although it feels it feels good, it's actually like it actually doesn't look that good.
I'm hoping through the summer, my girlfriend and I work out a lot together, and we were just deciding like we got to make tighter routines for ourselves. Like we climb a lot. I do a lot of rock climbing, and that's my job. If you don't know, I teach rock climbing, and
I do.
For everyone who's heard me say that in every single episode of the podcast so far. But so that's like easy to maintain. But I've been telling her like, okay, I gotta set legitimate sessions aside to like just work on unicycling, and I want these tricks down. As we all know, like it's whatever to land a trick on flat in front of your house. It's another to be able to go and throw the trick when you want to throw it off.
100%. Yeah. So when you finish your kind of warm up, you've done your like
losing you for a second.
Your tricks or whatever. What do you kind of move into? Oh.
Okay, go. So when I'm done with the warm up.
Right. Yep. So we're done with the warm up. What do you move to next? So obviously you might have a set of tricks that you want to work on. Will you just try and land them a couple times, or like if you get a new trick, do you try and then proceed to land like 3 more times, or
I would say the thing I need to do is I need to practice doing like more lines, because I feel like I kind of do it like zones style. Like I feel, I'll warm up my tricks. One thing I always do is because I started as a trials rider is I'll go to a couple of the big obstacles and I'll do like 10 or 15 hops up the biggest thing, to like keep that like big hop energy. So like I'll warm up tricks, get tricks kind of going in my mind. Do big hops, get like that big jumping big and hard warm up, and then I'll do a handful of those tricks, if you will, on the mani pad. Okay, got that. Go to the big box, do a couple of big tricks up the big box. Okay, go to the rail, hit the rail a handful of times. Go to the box, hit the box a bunch of times. See if I can do a couple crank flips out of the box. I would say that's how usually how my sessions go. I feel like work more on line type stuff though, but I definitely do like zone. Like street zone comp style practice.
Yeah, I definitely feel that would help like in competition situations as well, actually, because I pretty much just like ride, do one trick, land, get off, next, turn around, get on again, ride, do next trick. Whereas like doing those like lines, and even just when I do warm up, I'll do the lines. But if I'm
Totally.
actually trying to get some like of my tricks that I may have semi consistent, I generally still just do it one 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 one. I think I find it just easier to focus and then do it. But when it comes to a competition and it's like go go go, you have 1 minute to do all your tricks, and it's like, oh gosh, like I have to like throw this kind of like want to have like 8 9 times out of 10, or maybe even 5 or 6. But like
Yeah.
you still need to throw it, and then like if I'm not practicing like that, then that's when in competition it kind of starts to go to crap.
Yeah, I'm really bad at competition type riding. I get really worked up. I'm sure some people have definitely seen me ride and see that I've gotten pretty frustrated at competitions. And it's not like I'm just frustrated with myself. I'm not frustrated that I'm riding
Yeah.
bad, really. I'm just like, I know I can do this stuff, and I find that I've gone to competitions and not been able to do things that I know I can do when I'm just like a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
this in Colorado. I went to nationals in Colorado, and there was just like this gap crank flip, just like can definitely crank flip pretty big stuff, and I just could not. I tried it 3 times in the comp, which was probably a mistake. If you don't get on the first try, you should probably move on to your next trick. And I just could not do this gap crank flip, and it just made me crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's a different ball game, like riding in competition setting, and I think obviously you got like the bit more, you put more pressure on yourself, and obviously you've got lots of people watching you. It took me a long time actually to kind of get a bit more comfortable with it, and I don't think anyone's ever like fully comfortable with it, but I think a few things that helped me, and also just to like new riders who are like listening and stuff as well, like don't be afraid to enter the competitions. It's just for fun. Like just go compete like against yourself, just like go, and not even like don't even think of it as a competition, just like let's just go and like let's just show what tricks I can do,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's what our community is about. It is about like literally someone will be trying like their first one spin on the sideline. Meanwhile, the next to it, there might be some guys sessioning 1080s, but then everyone will be like, oh yeah, get around like the person with the one spin, like you've almost got it. Like that people will like take notice of that and encourage you. So I think then you come into a competition setting, like just come and just like show what you can do, and then come back the next year and then be like, oh, like people can see the improvements. Like
Totally.
just like don't be afraid to like compete basically.
I haven't done any competition yet with the new format. I don't know if you've gotten to experience or see the new format for what's going to be Street in France, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not as I'm not as aware, I think, with the new format for Street. What is it?
I am not 100% certain.
Okay.
I've heard it's like a combination of the slope style and the old style. So maybe I
Ah,
think
yep.
it's like zones, but you like got to run through it. Uh, if anyone knows the real answer, feel free to leave it in the comments or what have you. The old zone style riding is like you gotta like you have the obstacle, you start, you get to like do a trick or a trick session through the zone, then you're over. If you fall, you're kind of boned, or you can like reset up, but then it's sloppy. But whereas I think the new zone style, you have to like kind of keep moving. Like if you go past an
Okay.
obstacle, you can't
Yeah.
like go back. I don't think. I might be wrong.
Okay.
I might be wrong. This is totally speculation.
I like the concept though.
I think the concept is good. I think that the point I was trying to make though is I think people need to remember like I always get there and I kind of feel that pressure, and so if I drop something I'm like, oh whatever, this obstacle's done, I moved to the end. But I think if you're listening to this and you're gonna do your first competition, remember like if you try to jump up the box and you mess up, like stop, catch your breath. Time's not really a factor most of the time, or at least I don't think it's a factor in like a lot of the new format. And you just gotta reset up and try to get the trick you want to do like off the next obstacle. Yeah, does it ruin the flow? Absolutely. But like, I'd rather get a trick than just fumble and stumble and fall and drag my unicycle off the course and not get anything.
Yeah. Also, if you want some encouragement as well, for those who are listening, if you maybe we can link it in the description or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got one of my all famous slopestyle runs from Uninats,
Yeah,
and
I forgot about that.
yeah. So I mean, if you can't do any worse than that. So like, yeah, there's no excuses.
If I'm not mistaken, it's a slope style run where you like literally don't land like one trick on like any of the obstacles, right?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I
Yeah.
do land a crank flip up a pallet, which I think kind of makes it worse. Because if you just like fail everything, it's like, okay, he's actually like completely hopeless. But
Yeah.
because I actually did land something, it means like, oh, so he should be able to do more, but then he doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think I ended up walking like, over some of the obstacles because I'm just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Not too high.
like. Yeah, that's about the most flow in the whole run is just me walking like up the kind of stair set to then get on my unicycle and then fail another trick. So
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is like to not worry about category. When I was in Spain, I signed up for expert slopestyle, and I was like, they're like, oh, Phil, you sure you don't want to train, switch back to intermediate or whatever it was, or advanced? And I was like, you know what? No, fuck it. I'm just gonna ride with
nice.
Waylon Bat and all those guys. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
If anything, like it's gonna I'll be the normal person setting the bar for how amazing the other riders are. Like
exactly.
at the Olympics where you want to see what a normal person does when they ride. And I landed a couple crank flips, but what killed me in Spain is literally stalled like 90 stalled, and I just wanted to like hop up out of the stall, and I dropped it in every single one of my slope runs. Just stalling and hopping up the box. Oh my god, that will make you cry yourself to sleep afterwards.
Yeah, I think just as we were saying about like just in kind of competition riding as well, I think you can easily get into the mindset that you have to go out and do like your like best tricks,
Totally,
because that's the only way you're going to, like, if you land them then like you have a chance. But actually in the competition setting, it's just like you just need to land stuff, and that it took me like 3 or 4 competitions to figure that out, that I could just do a trick that I would just do like in my warm-up, and that would actually like and just tricks that I was quite familiar with, that and then I'd keep a few of the harder tricks in the bank that I felt a bit more confident in. I'd do them a bit later on, but I just like kind of lock in like that first trick, like you just have to land it, I think, because that sets momentum. I was speaking to Raphael Poham about that. He was just like, yep, first trick he does always the same every run. You can probably go back through it. We'll do the same
crank flip. Just
do the
get
same
it
trick
on the board. Get it on the board.
Yeah, because it really just sets momentum, I think, for your whole run.
Yeah.
And then as I said, just like do tricks that you normally do, like I 180 side spin. I love 180 side spin, probably one of my favorite tricks. But I like pretty much do that all the time, and it's like it's a good trick. Like it's solid. And once again, most people do 3 side, but I do 1 side, so there's kind of it's a little bit different.
Fresh. I have only ever done 3 side.
Yeah. I was watching your video doing your first sides, and most people learn 3 sides before that, but I learned one side first.
Just feels right, Doing the 180 feels awkward for me.
I mean,
it's the classic.
Sorry,
it's the classic 3-spin problem though. Like you could do 3 spins all day, but then you try to do 180, and you totally stuff it still.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people have landed maybe 3 sides as their first, but then like can't 180 side at all even. But I think the explanation that I've heard a lot of why people learn 3 side first is because when you kind of put your foot around your foot follows the unicycle, so it doesn't actually have to like get around the seat too much, because all you're doing is just following it, so it's easier.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like the 180 side has a little bit more of the 180, but also a little bit of like the seat jump like style, where you really gotta kick the leg around.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'll try to get one. I'll try to get one down this weekend. I'll film that for you. I'll film trying to get that 180 side.
Brilliant. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I kind of I visualize it as I spin the unicycle, and then I kind of kick like on a 45. I imagine my leg going 45 degrees out like this, and then move it to the side, and then put it on the pedal.
All right, I can visualize that.
Yeah.
Did enough side spins to, because like
that's what helped me.
I think like with the seat jumps, if anyone doesn't know, that's where you start generally like either on the seat or maybe even behind the seat, and you jump and you bring one leg up and all the way around the seat, and then come back down onto the pedals. For all you audio listeners out there, your side spin, of course, is the same maneuver, only spinning the unicycle. I feel like when you do the 3 spin, it's almost like you're almost spinning it around the leg rather than moving the leg. But I definitely feel like with the 180 side spin, you gotta do a little bit more of that leg movement to make it happen.
Yeah, that's a good description, by the way. I don't think I could have explained it that clearly. Well done.
You know, I don't got a lot, but I teach a lot of tactile stuff. You know, teach a lot of knot tying, a lot of teaching people how to belay. So I feel like maybe I have some visual demonstration ideas in my head for how to show people. Have you been on that? Have you been doing any of the skirt stuff at all?
I haven't. I do intend to, but I'm working on a video at the moment, and so when I'm going out to ride, yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I'm just going. Yeah, obviously I could just like while I'm filming, just put something up. But once again, it's kind of like choosing your sessions. How do I want to spend my session? And mine at the moment is work on the video and just go for that. So until that's done, which who knows, it's taken me a while at the moment, but. Yeah, when that's done, then I think I'll definitely get involved more in those games because they look fantastic. People landing new stuff, love the variety.
Yeah,
it's great. So,
just if you're ever doing it, if you got that skirt on your phone, just gotta do one clip, just one little clip, and throw it on there. I filmed a clip for last weekend. It was a still stand clip, like with the trick. I mean, again, this comes back to me being bad with video stuff. I later found I could easily just put it in my video editor and resave it, and it compressed it down. Maybe I'll upload it this week. But the video was too big on my phone because the still stand was too long.
Oh no!
So I kept editing, trimming off milliseconds to get it long enough, and the clip still over that 100 megabyte threshold.
Damn. Yeah, most of my phones that I've ever had, I think my previous phone I had for about 5 years only had, I can't remember how many gig, but basically it was like 15, 20 gig or something like that. So it basically, I film a video and then I probably wouldn't have space. I don't have to always delete stuff off of it.
Yeah, you just get the one.
Yeah, so it's always, film on.
You're filming and you got to do the trick and your phone goes, storage limit reached, and you're like,
yeah. And that's held me back a long time, so I have to just get a bigger size phone. I think might help.
Let's see. What do we got on my questions here? How many STF have you been on all of the STFU? Sorry, it's not STFU. It's the Unicycle Live podcast. Bad association there. Have you been on all those episodes? Have you been trying to partake in most of those conversations?
Yeah, as many as I can. Obviously, it depends on when it's happening, when we do it. But probably been on about 4 or 5 or so.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoy it. It's always good to talk unicycling, and we do having special guests on and all that kind of stuff, which is always really nice as well to get people different stories they might have, or it's good to kind of get into depth and hear their story.
Yeah. I agree with that. I want to almost do a separate episode of one of these days. I want to get a couple people on because I'm really interested in having a greater discussion on unicycle politics, so to speak. That'd be very good. You should. I was at work listening to the Unicycle Live podcast with Mark Fabian. And when it got into this is gonna sound lame, but when it got into some of the convention stuff, I felt myself getting triggered. I was like, "There's no convention stuff, Mark. You don't know what you're talking about." But yeah, he's got a good point. I'm really interested in the greater discussion about convention versus competition when it comes to Unicon. I just am. I'm big in the camp of keeping Unicon as an open experience to new riders.
Yeah.
It was one of the first big events I went to, and I had such a great experience, and I was lucky. I had a lot of good riders to ride with. I felt that Unicon in particular had a lot of convention stuff, and so I think competition will always be a big part of Unicon. Always. No one doesn't want competition to go away. But I'd be interested in having a big, maybe politically discussion on what does it mean to have a convention component of Unicon? How big should that be? Could just as much effort be put into a convention portion of Unicon compared to like the competition? I don't know if you have any opinions on any of that. Get it out there.
Yeah, no,
Tear a rift in the unicycling community.
Yeah. Yeah, just really tempted to play devil's advocate and just stir things up.
Yeah.
But no, I'm more in the camp of keeping it open. But and competition, convention, there's room for it all. It's great. And like I said, I had a really great first experience because there was just so many opportunities to get involved. I do, yeah. So I was just, what was I going to say? I think, yeah. I can't remember what I was going to say, but I do think it's important to keep it open.
Have you heard of Flock, or have you ever seen any of those videos?
Oh yeah, Flock 2007. Yeah,
So
I think
good.
one of the first videos I saw. Yeah, great.
You should. I don't know if I have a link to that. Is that still like out in the ethos?
I don't know, but I've got it on my hard drive.
If you like could send me that video or something like that, I would love to watch it again. I don't know if it's out there, and then I'll see if I can find it. But you should definitely send it to me just so I can have it for my personal collection. But I have like a dream, like my dream Unicon, if we were to just like make like a fantastic speculation, would be the Unicon that like takes 100% all in one place. Like, you have like an arena. Let's just say you have a big ass arena. My city has like a big ass arena. In my dream world, we would hold Unicon in the arena, big enough where like you could have the trials course say on one half and freestyle happening at the same time, literally on the other half.
Wow,
Like,
big vision.
Like that, like where Unicon could be happening all in one place, all the riding's happening here, all the riders can hang out in one place, like urban and freestyle, and maybe like it's got big open hallways and sections of it, so like there could definitely be open sections to be like doing like races like through the hallways, like just to like I think it would be easier and more mainstream to like have it all in one place where you could do the convention and the competition in the same area. I think one of the things that happens, of course, in unicycling is we always have to have all these events in different areas. The track and field's over here, the skate park's over here. Basketball has to be in this gym that's like a mile or two away. And I do think that's probably one of the things that makes the idea of convention difficult.
Yeah, I think I'm just imagining having the Muni in like one section of the stadium, just this massive mountain, just like
or North Shore
artificial
stuff.
Mountain. Yeah,
like lots of wood ramps, like an artificial Muni course. That'd be pretty gnarly. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, start at the top of the stadium, ride down and goes around the stadium, and then like into the finds its way back down to like the base or something.
Yeah. Well, now they just built a new skate park in my city that is right next to the arena, right next to it.
Maybe if you can get some more construction going there, then and get some more facilities, maybe that's where the Unicon will need to be held.
It'd be tough,
That's it.
I have talked at length to people who have hosted Unicon, and they haven't sold it overwhelmingly as a purely fun experience.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of work. Sometimes, there's elements of it, money that's involved, people complaining, I've heard about, that like makes it kind of like a hard, if it's neutral, like if you break ground and like nothing went wrong and everything was paid for, that's like some of the best experience you can have as like a host for Unicon.
Yeah.
But I've heard like some Unicons and just other unicycle events, like money and getting stuff paid for. I know, like, I don't know if you remember in Montreal, the food was a big issue, because they had paid the school for the catering company. Well, like in the middle of like 2 weeks before or a month before, the school hired a new catering company. And then the new catering company was like, "No, we're not going to do that contract. Like, we're not going to honor it."
Oh wow!
And so it was a big hullabaloo to get us our like meager toast and hard boiled eggs. I don't know if you remember, there's a little bit of plot. So people like were going there and just like taking food anyway, in rebellion.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, honestly, big ups to anyone who's organised the Unicon, because it's such a big commitment. And remember, people aren't doing this like full time. People have got their full time jobs and their own lives, and then also trying to organize Unicon, and then people
They have to like
people
take time
people
off
rock up.
work to like
Yeah.
actually run it, because it's like that much effort. That's much effort.
Yeah, and then people rock up expecting like kind of expect like, oh, this wasn't run like this properly, and this wasn't like this, and it's like, well, like just remember, like this is
You
all
run
basically
it.
run by volunteers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and we always talk about which Unicon was the best and this and that, but honestly, all of them, like when you kind of think about all the effort that goes into it, all the admin behind it, you just go, you know what? I think every country has pulled it off. Like, to be honest, like just to pull off that event in itself is like, big round of applause.
Yeah, there's never been a Unicon that I've been to that was like an abysmal failure or something like that. Like, I don't know if you're familiar with that fire event that like never happened. It's not a unicycling event. It was like some big concert that like the guys tried to get all these people to go to. When people showed up for the event, there was like no musicians. They didn't have tents. There's a famous documentary about it, like a huge event where they like promised all this crap, and then it was literally the people couldn't get off the island because there was like no transport arranged and stuff like that.
Wow.
But yeah, there haven't been like one of those for a unicycle event that I've ever been to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at the end of the day, it's the people that make it. So, I mean, if you've got everyone there and you've got your unicycles, mate, you're pretty set.
Yeah. Well, man, we're at an hour 60. This is pretty good. Let me look through my questions here. See if there's any final notes we want to finish on. Have you ever been any? I still like asking this question. What do you hate? What do you hate about unicycling?
Maintenance.
Oh God.
Yeah, I actually do. I really do hate it. I just want to get out and ride. I don't want to spend time fidgeting around. It takes me ages just to like put a spoke on or like redo a spoke or like let alone put in one spoke. Oh my gosh, then you have to take off the tire, you have to take off the frame. Oh my God, too long. I just that's the thing for me.
I just put a new, I've been riding my 19-inch since I broke my 20-inch, and I realized I put the tire on backwards, and it's not a big deal. It's a new tire, and so like all the tread is shaped a direction, and so if it's riding the right direction, it's smooth, but if you turn it backwards, all the knobs go like really hard. I cannot be bothered to turn it around. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna ride it. I'm just gonna ride it until those knobs wear down, and then just call it good.
Yeah.
And
I think I was gonna say one more thing. I think as well is just like, just when you get like, I think just basic like pedal bites, should I say, or like when the frame gets you like in the knee as well. Like that's these days I'm just like, nope, like that's it, session over. I don't want this anymore. Like
why?
That is a session ender. Yeah.
The thing that gets me, no matter what pads I'm wearing, is I don't know. I got pretty big calves, Yeah. And I'll just do spins sometimes, and you get the thing where like you catch it, and the frame just goes into my calf, and I just no pad can protect me from it. Like, I can't like angle my legs or whatever, so it doesn't happen. It's just the one thing that still happens sometimes. And there's days where I'm like, I want to give up. I'm just never gonna ride again. If this happens one more time, that's it. Throwing this unicycle right in a fire pit. No, I don't even want anyone else to be able to ride it. That's how cursed it is.
Yeah, I think also I was gonna add because I think I know you're talking about not talking about previous stuff, but I do recall like just kind of just kind of finding the motivation and then pushing through like a trick. I learned a new trick recently, and it kind of reminded me of how I kind of like used to ride, where like it was I think just some things for me that because I normally I cop a few hits now, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm kind of over this.
Yeah,
now.
I got the
gonna
fix
stop.
that I needed.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back to rolling wraps and do that because it's nice and safe, and I won't hurt myself. But I think like just the mindset. Like I think also that's like that's been dropping off the game for a while, and I really noticed that when I learned this new trick recently, that I really just had to keep telling myself, like, I'm stay really positive. And I know it sounds kind of like generic and obvious,
No,
but
yeah, it's real though.
just telling myself that, like, you know, when I started to get the feel for the trick, I was like, oh my god, like, okay, cool, this is the feeling I want now. We just need to just, you know, just grab a hand pass and just chuck your feet in, chuck your feet in, chuck your feet in. I just kept telling myself that over and over, because I'm like, once I get my feet on, then that's like, because I was obviously having problems committing. I was like, if I just get one where I get both feet in, then you know,
You're
we're
going
gonna
to
see
commit
this trick
again.
ended.
You're gonna commit
Yeah.
again. Like it's
Yeah.
you have that open end where you haven't quite gotten it enough yet. You haven't quite landed it. You know, you got one foot on, but it's not real, and you know that feeling.
Yeah.
And then you just know you just need that one where even if you land like on the crank barely and don't stick it, you're like, it's gonna be locked in.
Yeah.
But then like 25 more attempts happen and you don't get the feeling, and you're like, oh my god, is this worth it? Ah.
Yeah. And then what happens is like you get that feeling, and then it gets taken away from you, robbed, broad daylight, just like when you knock yourself, and then you kind of like, no, yeah, that really hurt, and then it kills the momentum.
Totally.
And at that point I had to tell myself, you know what, you can work, you just got to get back up there, do it again, because that feeling will come around again, because you've done it before.
Yeah.
So get back up there and get those 2 feet on again. And, you know, the first few were painful, they felt disgusting, and I, like, you know, the attempts were terrible. But I was like, you know, but it only takes like one good attempt. And then next thing you know, tried a few more again, you know, 10, 15 more.
Totally.
And then I got another good one. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, you just got to keep like pushing through. Your body does remember, like, you haven't, you know, as soon as you don't just lose it completely. And I just kind of kept pushing through it. And, you know, I just kind of like, getting defeated, losing the hype, and then kind of rebuilding the hype into the trick again. And I don't really feel like I've done that properly for a while.
Yeah.
Where I've lost it and then just kind of just gone, you know what, let's just leave it. But
well, you know, you have the sessions too where like you are like, you know, you have the sessions where you're so amped and you're like, I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving here until I get it. It's not happening. And like 3 hours go by and you're like, no, I'm not leaving. Like I'm going. And then you go and you go and you go and you go and you get it. And I like, you feel every muscle in your body and your brain just exploding. Like,
yeah.
You know, go for it.
Oh, so I was gonna say, just like building on that, like I tell myself, like there was no point coming out here if I don't walk back with a clip. If I don't walk back and land this, like I may as well have just stayed inside. So keep going. I rode until I got big blisters on my feet now, so I probably can't ride for like the next, I don't know, just under a week or so. But that's because I was just like, I'm not leaving until I get this thing.
Totally.
And then like, that was the kind of like dedication I had when I'm my first kind of like 3-4 years of riding, where that was just kind of the norm. And then since then, I think it's kind of dropped off a little bit, and the same kind of persistence and positivity and kind of perseverance hasn't been there. So I feel pretty hyped up at the moment, just speaking about it with you, because I'm like, this is how it felt. Yeah.
And you remember, and like, I don't know, I remember like passing, like, the fact of the matter is, like, I am a far better rider now than I ever used to.
Yeah,
true. Like, and you gotta remind yourself, like, I am a better rider now than I think I used to do this stuff really hard back then, but it's like, you know, the first time I ever landed a full out flip, I probably told the story 1,000, like, it was 2 hours of only that trick. Like 2 hours of sessioning. Yeah. Throwing it, getting angry, sweating, screaming, throwing my unicycle, like, and I only landed it one time, like that whole time. I didn't get it multiple times. It didn't like click when I got it. Like it was one of those crank flips, like where I rode as fast as I could and jumped it through it, and then magically flipped enough, and I magically landed on the pedals. But in this recent year, you know, I don't know if like the unicycle helps. I think getting a new unicycle was the motivation to like go hard again, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, I landed my double backflip in like one session, you know?
Amazing.
I landed my full out double flip in 2 sessions. Like, you know, like I tried it for a while to see if it was even like a possible. And then when I went for it, like I got it in that session. And I was like, well, what the fuck? I like need to be trying harder shit, you know? Or like how long could I have been able to do this? You know, but with these sessions, and now I've literally landed like 2 of those, and I haven't even gone back to it, you know. So here we are, like starting the cycle all over again.
Well, it sounds like you only need a session or two to land another one. You did it in 2 sessions, so there's no reason why you can't do it
There's
in
no
one session
reason.
now.
And you know what's
So
weird
it's,
now is since I've landed it, the thing that messes me up like crazy. It's like actually kind of like a psychological screw in my brain. Is I gotta throw my regular full out flips now, and I'm over flipping a lot.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm doing 1.5s, and I'm like, what is happening? And like so it's almost I'm almost having a hard time going back to my regular full out flips, or even catching them early because I'm just for whatever reason I'm snapping that extra harder pressure that I felt with the double. So I don't know. Just gotta ride more. Just gotta ride more.
yeah. That's what it comes down to. Yeah, it's good problem to have too.
It's a good problem to have. Oh no, I have to do the thing I love more and get better
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I know. I'm over flipping the full out flip every time.
Yeah.
Damn.
Damn.
Like.
Uh,
Yeah.
but the thing that's been haunting me a little bit, I don't know if you have a trick you're working on that you're okay with revealing, but I'm trying to get the double backflip off of stuff. I'm close, but it's giving me trouble.
Yeah, I've been trying that one a little bit too. But yeah, I think that would be nice because I know I just want to learn like the late double back. That would be sick down something. Um, but yeah, I think the one I'm trying to work on. Well, okay, I think it's an MBD. I'm pretty sure it is, but I don't know if I'm gonna like reveal that because I reckon I want to just land that one. But I've been trying that. Um, so
Trick you're okay with
yeah.
revealing. Trick you're okay with revealing. Give us an idea of like, yeah, trick you've been trying to sash. You don't have to reveal the context in which you're doing it, but like you're like I've been trying to get this trick that like I think I'm gonna nail it.
Yeah, well, I could tell you the most recent one I did land.
Tell me.
All right, well, it was an out fifth double.
Oh fuck, that's a fucking
Yeah,
real trick, right? That's a stunt.
it is. Yeah. So to explain that for people who don't know
Yeah.
what that is, it is a 540 unispin and 2 crank flips, and all done from seat in to seat out. So you basically have to start one-handed and not two. And I've been able to do I love the full out double, like one of my favorites, and full out backside flip, one of my favorites. So to kind of break up into the kind of the next kind of tier of like full out
Those
tricks.
fives, man.
Yeah, because of the hand pass, like has just daunted me for years.
Same.
Like I've just
Still
never
can't do
been
it.
able to. Yeah, it doesn't feel great. It's like no good. But yeah, that was the trick I was talking about before when I was sessioning and going through the motions with that. I actually felt like a pro rider for once.
Yeah.
Like,
where you get it, and you're like, you land with that, so you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can actually grab this stupid thing.
Yeah.
I've definitely noticed that the hand pass is like one of those things that are like, if I need to figure it out, or it's gonna hold me back. Because Mose is getting it. Mose has gotten a few hand pass 540s now, and he is going to start zooming past me.
Yeah, I think one thing that I actually learned like in fifths beforehand, and I found the hand pass for in fifths was much easier because you don't have to like as you spin with the fifth, so with the regular like fifth flip or out fifth. When you start spinning it, you kind of have to like as the handle's turning away from you, you kind of have to chase it with the other hand to try and get a good grip.
Yeah, it's really awkward. Yeah,
really, 100%. So, but within fifth, if you spin it, you can just spin it into like your other hand, and then you just grab it and then turn it around.
Handle.
Yeah. So that for me, like to kind of get into the world of like 540 hand passes, in fifth is the one that kind of made me feel like, okay, like I can do a hand pass with 540 now. This is now a bit more possible. So now I feel like I felt more confident, like with doing the fifth with the hand pass, because I'm quite happy just to throw tricks and just commit. I'm fine with that. I don't need the hand pass too much. Yeah. But I just for that and out fifth and that, and obviously any chance to get it consistent, and when you kind of go up, like I think you kind of need it. So yeah, I kind of had to do this similar thing where I had to kind of go one step back to then go 2 steps forward. I think that's where I'm at.
I think the final lesson note for people is like, so we all learn things weird. Sometimes we have like a bad habit when we learn, but just remember, like, it is always worth it to go back, revert a bit, lose a little bit of your progress to get it down the right way, the good habit that almost all the other writers do, because there's a reason they do it that way. There's a reason. It's because it's usually the better way to do it. It's usually the better way. And
Sure.
every time I've ever had to go back and learn a trick, it's always like, as soon as you get it down, you're like, okay, this was the right way to do it. I clearly see that now.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to Paris? Not Paris. Sorry.
I was gonna say,
As a typical
yeah,
American, Paris is
a
all
holiday.
of France.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go to Grenoble?
Yeah, I'm gonna do everything I can to get there. I mean, yeah, obviously right now I'm living in London, so I mean it's not too far away. So no excuse really. And I mean it's obviously it's been delayed for a while. It's been too long. So yeah, definitely.
We're
99% gonna be there.
This is gonna come out tomorrow, and I'm gonna get judged by some people. I'm on the USA board of directors, so like I should go to nationals. It's only like 3 days because it's not really nationals. It's like not nationals in the United States. So it's gonna just be a long unicycle weekend. But it's like a $600 plane ticket for the weekend. You know.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But also, it's been locked down. Like I mean, I know. Every time I've gone to a unicycle event and if it's been a little bit uncomfortable financially or whatever, like it's always been worth it.
That's a good point.
And there's people. But yeah, obviously do what you can to not, don't put yourself in too much of a detriment.
I'm just gonna throw it on the credit card and go. Just gonna swipe, take it, Visa, and just be there. And they have all this cool merch. If anyone's gonna go to Not NAUCC, which is, by the way, it's next weekend, guys. It's the July 1st, 2nd, 3rd.
Oh my gosh!
They have this sweet messenger bag that they're like selling as like one of the items for the event, and I'm gonna buy it. It's like $40 or something like that, and it's like, if there was I sometimes wish some of the events had like all the merch, like coffee cups, travel bags. Like I still have all the silly stuff. Like one of the Unicons had the silly water bottles that you could fill up. I'm like, I love that shit. I don't know if I'm just a pack rat or something, but like I want all the stupid unicycle memorabilia.
So I feel like every unicycle enthusiast is all about that. Like, yeah, they're great. All that kind of stuff.
Underrated item. I've stolen a couple of them. I don't know if people have seen them in my house. I mean, but I have like the flags. The totally jacked. So this is the Unicon New Zealand flag. It's pinned up because of my board here. And then there's like a big Unicon Italy flag. Some of the other events didn't have flags, but yeah, if they sold those, I would buy like the full like Unicon flag for like every single event.
Yeah.
And just hang them in my house, just everywhere, just fill up all my rooms.
Worth it.
Well, Tirryn, hour 30. People are gonna like be checking out because we're talking so long. Yeah, want to call it?
Yeah, I think so. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thanks for talking to me. And hey, everyone, check out Tirryn's stuff. We'll post some Instagram links, YouTube. We'll definitely post Unicycle Maintenance on there.
Yep, perfect. Yep, STFU London. Check it out if you need some motivation for a ride or anything like that. Yeah.
Or motivation for maintenance, or motivation to take it to your bike shop instead.
Yeah, exactly.
Tirryn, thanks for talking with me, everyone. Till next time.
Cheers, Phil.